The carbon tax increase kicks in today, so that means you will pay more to fill up your vehicle, about 3 cents more per litre. So what does that look like for you? I want to give you some examples. So in Ontario, for example, the average cost to fill up a car in March was about $79. So today, you're going to be paying about $81 for 50 litres for a tank, by the way. In Alberta, you were paying on average $77 for a full tank in March. Now you're going to be paying about $78.50. Also increasing are the quarterly Canada carbon rebates. So a family of 4 in Ontario will receive $280 on April 15th compared to $244 they got in 2023. In Alberta, a family of 4 will get $450 on April 15th versus $386 they received last year. So lots to talk about. For more on the carbon tax increase and the rebates, we're joined by Christopher Reagan, Associate Professor and Director of the Max Bell School of Public Policy at McGill University. Good morning.
Good morning.
So let's break this down and back up a little bit. What is the carbon tax and how does it work?
So the carbon tax is a method of trying to get us as a country to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. So the basic logic is if we put a tax and therefore raise the price on gasoline and diesel and natural gas and propane and things like that, mostly fossil fuels, then consumers and small businesses and large businesses will respond to that price increase eventually over time by reducing their use of those products. And they'll switch over time to cleaner alternatives. And that's now been in place federally since 2019. And that carbon price applies in every province except British Columbia and Quebec, which have their own carbon pricing systems.
So other countries have a version of this, right? In fact, about 50 countries currently have some form of carbon pricing in effect right now. That includes the UK, China, Poland, Argentina, for example. How has carbon pricing been successful in reducing emissions in those countries?
Well, I can't speak to each of those ones specifically, but it's been in place. First of all, carbon prices have only been in place for, at the maximum, about 15 years. In Canada, it's only been a few years. So we're in early days. But what we see across the world, actually, is that carbon pricing does gradually reduce emissions. So that's true in British Columbia. It was true in Denmark and Sweden. It's true in Europe, the European Union that has an emissions trading system. It's true in Quebec, and I would say it's true in terms of the federal carbon price that we've got in place. The changes are not huge. So what we see is emissions reductions, in the order of 1 to 2% per year, which some people think sounds very small, but in fact, if you can get carbon reductions of 1 to 2% per year every year, then after 10 and 15 and 20 and 25 years, then you start to have pretty substantial reductions. Also, all of these carbon prices have been introduced at a very low rate to begin with, and then they ramp up over time. And as the carbon price gets higher, then it sends that stronger economic incentive to all of us to reduce our use of those high carbon products even more.
And I just want to be clear on the rebate side of this. So for people wondering right now, they're going to be spending a little bit more at the pumps. Are they going to, in fact, be getting all of their money back through these rebates?
So the rebates are designed, again, the rebates only exist where the federal carbon price exists. So those rebates don't take place in British Columbia or Quebec. And the rebates are designed, they're calibrated, so that about 80% of the households get as much back or more back in the rebate as they pay through higher prices, which means the upper 20% by income don't get more back, okay? So these are calibrated so that the vast majority of Canadians, their purchasing power is actually restored or improved by the rebates. And that actually points to the logic of these rebates. The whole point of a carbon price isn't to make us poorer and therefore reduce our consumption. The point of the carbon price is just to raise the prices of carbon intensive things so that we over time substitute away from them and use less of them. So the rebate is designed to restore our purchasing power for the vast majority of Canadians. And of course, you can spend your rebate on anything you want. Now, you could actually spend it all on gasoline or diesel if you wanted to, but most people are just going to spend it on a wide variety of things. They'll save some, they'll go out for dinner, they'll buy a new pair of shoes, whatever.
Or maybe pay for their groceries, right? At this point, Christopher Reagan, thanks so much. We appreciate your insight on this.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.